Sly was a snake, not just any snake. He was special, unique, and had a talent that made him stand out in the vast, colorful jungle. Sly could change his colors. Yes, you heard that right. He had the incredible ability to transform his appearance to match his surroundings. Like magic, he could blend in anywhere. Whether it was the dense foliage, the vibrant flowers, or the earthy ground, Sly could become invisible in an instant. Green leaves? Sly was green. He could wrap himself around a branch and become one with the leaves, making it impossible for anyone to spot him. Brown branches? Sly was brown. He could slither along the bark of a tree and blend in so perfectly that even the sharpest eyes would miss him. Sly loved the jungle. It was full of colors. The jungle was a paradise of hues, with every shade imaginable. From the deep greens of the leaves to the bright reds and yellows of the flowers, it was a feast for the eyes. So many places to blend in. Sly found joy in exploring every nook and cranny of the jungle, discovering new spots where he could practice his camouflage skills. He could be a red flower or a purple vine. His ability to change colors was not just limited to greens and browns. He could mimic the bright petals of a flower or the twisting tendrils of a vine. It was so much fun. Sly enjoyed every moment of his camouflage adventures. He loved the thrill of becoming invisible and then reappearing in a different form. Sly was a friendly snake. Despite his extraordinary abilities, he was kind-hearted and always had a smile on his face. He liked to watch the jungle animals. He never scared them. Sly was a gentle observer, always curious but never intrusive. The animals knew Sly was their friend. They trusted him and enjoyed his company. Sly's camouflage skills were not just for fun, they also helped him protect his friends. Whenever danger was near, Sly would blend in and keep a watchful eye, ready to warn his friends if needed. One day, a small bird got tangled in a vine. Sly noticed it and quickly changed his color to match the vine, slithering up to help the bird without startling it. The bird was grateful and chirped a happy tune as it flew away. Another time, a group of animals was in danger from a lurking predator. Sly used his camouflage to sneak close and lead them to safety. The animals were always thankful for Sly's help and knew they could count on him. Sly loved his life in the jungle. Every day was an adventure, filled with new colors to blend into and new friends to help. He was happy, knowing he was not just a master of disguise, but also a true friend to all the jungle creatures. As the sun set over the jungle, casting a golden glow over the trees, Sly felt content. He knew that no matter what challenges came his way, he would always be ready to face them with a smile and a splash of color. And so, as the night fell, Sly found a cozy spot to rest. He curled up, blending into the shadows, and drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the colorful adventures that awaited him the next day. Deep in the jungle was a special place. It was a hidden gem, untouched by the outside world, where nature thrived in its purest form. The jungle was alive with the sounds of chirping birds, rustling leaves, and the distant calls of wild animals. It was a sanctuary for all who lived there, a place where every creature had its role and every plant its purpose. The trees grew tall and strong, their branches reaching high into the sky. They formed a dense canopy that provided shelter and shade. Vines hung like swings, swaying gently in the breeze, inviting the animals to play. The trees were ancient, their bark rough and gnarled, telling stories of the jungle's long history. The air was warm and smelled like flowers, a sweet and intoxicating fragrance that filled the senses. Brightly colored flowers bloomed everywhere, their petals opening to the sun. Butterflies flitted from blossom to blossom, their wings a blur of color. The jungle was a riot of life and color, a vibrant tapestry woven by nature. Sunlight peeked through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the jungle floor. It made bright spots on the ground, like little pools of light. The sunlight was warm and golden, creating a magical atmosphere. It was as if the jungle was alive with light, every leaf and blade of grass glowing with an inner radiance. Little streams flowed through the trees, their waters clear and sparkling. The streams wound their way through the jungle, providing life-giving water to all who lived there. The water sparkled in the sun, creating a shimmering dance of light. The sound of the flowing water was soothing, a gentle melody that added to the jungle's symphony. This was Sly's home. He loved to slither through the tall grass, feeling the cool blades brush against his scales. Sly was a sleek and graceful snake, his movements smooth and fluid. He knew every inch of the jungle, every hidden path and secret nook. The jungle was his playground, a place where he could explore and discover new wonders every day. He loved to curl up in the warm sun, basking in its golden rays. The sun's warmth seeped into his scales, making him feel relaxed and content. Sly had a favorite spot, a flat rock that was always bathed in sunlight. He would spend hours there, soaking up the sun and watching the jungle around him. He knew every inch of this jungle paradise, every tree, every flower, every stream. It was his home and he loved it with all his heart. One day Sly was resting on a branch. The sun filtered through the dense canopy, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. Sly, a master of disguise, blended seamlessly with the tree bark, his scales matching the rough texture and color perfectly. He was the same color as the bark. His ability to camouflage was not just a trick, but a vital skill that allowed him to observe the jungle without being seen. Sly had spent years perfecting this art, learning from the best of nature's teachers. It was hard to see him. Even the keenest eyes would struggle to spot Sly as he lay motionless, his body perfectly aligned with the contours of the branch. This invisibility cloak made him an unseen guardian of the jungle. He watched a family of monkeys swing by. The monkeys, oblivious to Sly's presence, chattered and laughed as they swung from vine to vine. Their playful antics brought a smile to Sly's face, reminding him of the joy and innocence that thrived in the jungle. A colorful parrot landed on a nearby branch. It didn't see Sly. The parrot's vibrant feathers stood in stark contrast to Sly's muted tones. A burst of color in the green expanse of the jungle. It started to sing a beautiful song. The melody echoed through the trees, a symphony of nature that filled the air with a sense of peace and harmony. Sly closed his eyes, letting the music wash over him. Sly smiled. He loved the jungle sounds, the rustling of leaves, the distant calls of animals, and the gentle hum of insects created a soundtrack that was both soothing and invigorating. Sly was a protector of the jungle. His role was not just to blend in, but to ensure the safety of all its inhabitants. He had taken on this responsibility with pride, knowing that his unique abilities made him the perfect guardian. He used his camouflage to keep everyone safe. By remaining hidden, Sly could monitor the jungle for any signs of danger. Whether it was a predator lurking nearby or a natural disaster on the horizon, Sly was always prepared to act. The animals knew Sly was watching over them. They had come to trust in his silent vigilance, knowing that he was always there, even if they couldn't see him. This trust was a bond that connected all the creatures of the jungle. They felt safe with him around. Sly's presence was a comforting constant in their lives, a reminder that they were never alone. As the sun set and the jungle began to quiet, Sly remained on his branch, ever watchful, ever ready to protect his beloved home. Pipsqueak was a tiny bird. She had bright blue feathers and a sweet little voice. Cottontail was a fluffy rabbit with a twitchy nose and big bouncy ears. Pipsqueak loved to sing. She sang to the flowers and the trees. Cottontail loved to hop. He hopped from one patch of clover to another. Pipsqueak and Cottontail were best friends. They played together every day in the warm jungle sun. They felt safe and happy in their jungle home. One afternoon, Pipsqueak and Cottontail were playing. They didn't notice the shadow lurking nearby. A sneaky jaguar was hunting. The jaguar was big and strong. It had sharp teeth and claws. The jaguar was very close to Pipsqueak and Cottontail. They were in danger. Sly saw the danger. He quickly changed his colors. He blended in with the leaves on the jungle floor. He had to warn his friends that... Sly slithered quickly and quietly. He didn't want to scare Pipsqueak and Cottontail, but he had to get their attention before the jaguar saw them. He reached them just in time. Sly made a soft hissing sound, just enough to get their attention. Pipsqueak and Cottontail saw Sly and froze. "Look out!" whispered Sly, pointing with his tail towards the jaguar. "Jaguar!" Pipsqueak and Cottontail looked and gasped. They were very close to the danger. Pipsqueak quickly flew up to a high branch. Cottontail hopped behind a large tree, hiding himself. The jaguar, confused, looked around for its prey. Seeing nothing, the jaguar slunk away, disappointed. It disappeared into the dense jungle foliage. Danger had passed. Pipsqueak and Cottontail came out of their hiding spots. They were shaky but safe. They looked at Sly with grateful eyes. "Thank you, Sly," chirped Pipsqueak, her little heart still beating fast. "You saved us from the jaguar." Cottontail nodded vigorously in agreement. "We didn't see it at all," added Cottontail, his nose twitching as he spoke. "You were so quick and brave, Sly." Sly smiled warmly at his friends. He was happy to help. "That's what friends are for," he hissed softly. "Always be careful, my friends." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the jungle, Sly, Pipsqueak and Cottontail sat together, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere. The sky was ablaze with colors, fiery orange, warm pink and deep purple. The jungle was alive with the sounds of crickets chirping and frogs croaking. "It's so beautiful," whispered Pipsqueak, her blue feathers glowing in the fading light. Cottontail, nestled beside her, nodded in silent agreement. Sly smiled. "Every day in the jungle is a gift," he whispered back, his scales shimmering under the colourful sky. "And I promise," he continued, looking at his friends with a determined glint in his eyes, "I will always be here to keep you safe." Pipsqueak and Cottontail felt a surge of warmth and gratitude towards their friend, the amazing camouflage snake.